first time in his adult life, Donald Trump, the billionaire businessman, is living in a house he does not own. This is day one of the next 4 years, and Donald Trump now commands the attention of the world. A day filled with powerful symbolism. This first footage of the new president in the Oval Office, where he signed an executive order tonight laying the groundwork to repeal Obamacare. Act 1. Just hours after he took the oath of office in front of his family, becoming the 45th president of the United States. Tonight, the new president and first lady were cheered as they entered the Liberty Ball, one of 3 they're attending this evening. We'll have more on the first dance later in the broadcast. Of course, he was in front of a friendly audience at the ball tonight and earlier today for those who were close enough to see the swearing in at the Capitol. But nothing compared to the crowd that gathered in front of the Capitol 8 years ago. This split screen shows 2 images, both taken at 11:30 a.m. on 2 different inauguration days, with Trump's on the left and Barack Obama's record numbers 1.8 million on the right. Our coverage of this historic day begins with CTV's Washington Bureau Chief Joy Melvin.
With all the grandeur of the moment, with all the pageantry, this was Donald Trump's biggest audience yet.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Hand on the Bible, with his wife Melania and family looking on in those few words.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
America, meet your new president. Addressing the hopes and fears of a divided nation, it sounded much like his campaign.
This American carnage stops right here and stops right now.
Painting a dark vision of a crippled nation riddled with crime and closed factories.
Trumptown, USA!
Make America great again.
Pledging to take back power from the elite, promising to give voice to what he calls the forgotten people.
From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. America first.
Ushering in a new, unpredictable era, he offered little in the way of healing an anxious nation.
He was somewhat divisive as a candidate.
Crowds much smaller than the historic numbers for now former President Barack Obama, who has offered advice and left a welcome note in the Oval Office for his successor.
Yes, we did. Yes, we can.
A point of pride, this transfer of power that wasn't so peaceful today. Violence marring the new president's show. Trump, who campaigned as an outsider, is now an insider, getting right to work and using the power of the presidential pen to sign executive orders and disappearing from the White House website information on climate change and LGBT rights. Trump, who came to office on a wave of insults, came face to face with the woman who thought she should have been there.
President Bill Clinton and Secretary Hillary Clinton. I have a lot of respect for those 2 people, so thank you all for being here.
The new commander-in-chief taking a victory lap, enjoying the moment, a presidential milestone that few saw coming.
The new president is already putting his mark on his workspace. Golden drapes replacing crimson curtains, doing a bit of redecorating. And back in the Oval Office, the return of the bust of Winston Churchill. Lisa.
All right, so changes begin already. Joy Melvin, thanks for this tonight.
Oh, he's getting it. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Big moment.
I think this is near Trump Hotel, maybe?
Really? That would be a coincidence, wouldn't it?
No,
little free advertising,
certainly
perhaps?
he wouldn't do that now.
Oh, of course you would. He is getting out, right? Yeah. Here.
It's always the big question mark. Will they get out of the vehicle and walk? You had to know that Donald Trump would not miss this opportunity.
And here he is.
There he is with his son, Barron, First Lady Melania. It's actually incredible how close they are to those protesters.
Yeah.
David, give me your thoughts as a historian as you see this.
Well, this is exactly what Jimmy Carter wanted to do in 1977 when he got out of that car. It is the idea of no matter how much of a wall you have between the people, and look, we got a significant wall of security right there, there still is a reasonable amount of access. And so this is kind of saying, all right, I'm still out there, I'm still amongst the people. That's the hope anyway.
Yeah.
I have to sympathize with this Baron, though. I mean, how awkward for this poor kid to have to just, you know, wave. It's probably, for any boy of that age, not a comfortable spot to be in.
No, especially he's a teenager. He looks like he's a preteen.
Yeah, he's
he
11,
looks like,
I think.
Yeah, like, Dad, when is this going to be over? We're going to go, you know, ransack the White House kitchen or something. But it does make, back to David's, you know, historical note about Jimmy Carter getting out of the limousine, it makes, again, the presidency accessible somehow, right? Even though we're watching this, most of Americans on a television, you feel like, oh, I can kind of touch it. I'm a little closer to it, to our government. It's not so distant.
But this is a government that is, you know, so polarizing. So many Americans, you know, may have chosen not to even watch this today, which I read a story about that, thinking that is really remarkable that on an inauguration day there would be that much, you know, just emotional rot that they would not want to watch it.
Although it's one of your correspondents we were just talking to said people who didn't vote for Donald Trump are like, you know, yeah, this is about our president. We have to come together. You even have celebrities now like Nicole Kidman. She has dual citizenship, saying, you know what? It's time for Americans to get behind our president.
Oh, there it is. So a quick walk.
Getting back in the car.
That was quick.
Or are they
getting back in the motorcade, I think.
I don't know if they're going to be able to shake hands because of the protesters, you know. I don't know if the Secret Service is going to let them get that close. You just don't know what's behind those barricades now.
Listen, USA, I think they're changing.
So I really don't want one of those cookie-cutter financial plans.
And the First Lady, Melania Trump. The Vice President of the United States, Michael R. Pence, and Karen Pence. Continuing the presidential escort, the U.S. Capitol Police escort and the Capitol Police cover guard charged with protecting the U.S. Congress since 1828. They are under the command of Chief Matthew Verderosa. Ladies and gentlemen, the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies. The members are Chairman Senator Roy Blunt, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Senator Charles E. Schumer, Speaker of the House Paul D. Ryan, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, House Democratic Leader Nancy Pelosi. United States Supreme Court justices.
So we're obviously, there are members of Congress in this motorcade, the Trump family, and we're just getting a photograph now that is really worth popping up as the. Oh wait, before we do that, oh boy, see, timing is everything in television. There you go. That is the shot of Barack Obama looking out of the helicopter. His last look at the White House. That is quite a powerful shot.
Up here, history is made of ice and snow. It lives inside and out.
and there was this tense standoff with police, the police in riot gear. You can see them right here, and something obviously provoked them. They started gassing and pepper spraying some protesters, and then tensions escalated, which brought us here, and one of our techs, John, noticed that one of the officers was firing rubber bullets. We heard lots of gas, a lot of noises. People started scrambling, and now we're in a tense situation right now. John, I'm just going to get you to zoom in there just to see that the police have cordoned off this entire 4-block section here. And if we pan around, you can see some of the protesters still waiting to see what happens next. But make no mistake, Lisa, this is a very tense situation, and what happens next is unclear.
Tell me about the level of security, Richard, out on the streets today. Certainly that was well forecast, and I can see them behind you. We heard some booms earlier, obviously some kind of canisters to keep the crowds back. But what is the volume of, what is it, military, law enforcement? You tell me.
Yeah. Well, we have seen not only police, local police, but they've been backed up by military. We've seen some Humvees driving by here. I don't know if you can still see it. It's on the other side of this crowd here. One drove by. You see a bicycle in the middle of the road, Lisa. A police officer was injured, and they've been cleaning up rocks and other debris that the protesters have been throwing at them. Obviously, the protesters were trying to provoke the police. They succeeded. The police pushed back, and they're trying to contain the scene right now. You can hear several helicopters flying around, several dozen police officers standing guard in a row here on this side of the street, on the other side, trying to push the protesters away. But as you can see, many are still here and waiting to see what happens next. A very tense situation.
Up here, history is made of ice and snow.